Many years ago, in the tower of the wizard Zerul, outside of Zental Keep.
Almost.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
Distant bells. Were you trying to pick the lock on your shackle?
What if I am, Mother? It itches. It chafes. Why must we be shackled so?
Foolish child. If Zerul sees but a scratch on either your ankle or the lock, he will pluck you and have kinku stew for dinner.
He wouldn't. Would he?
No, my dear, but listen, distant bells. Your shackle is not a prison. It is what marks you as part of this family. Boiling cauldron, rain on flagstones, hummingbird wing beats. We are all connected by the magic of these anklets. Be proud of who you are.
If you say so, Mother.
I do. Now come. We are to copy the tome of Bane's Bestiary for the mayor before sunset. Come along, my chime, my ringing in the morning, my distant bells. Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 144. Shackle. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host and buffoonish Dungeon Master. I just wanted to say something different because Lee pointed out that I only say two. Dungeon Master Michael Corley, and with me tonight is Lee. Lee, tell everyone who you will be playing.
G'day everybody, my name is Lee, and I'll be playing Distant Bells, the incarcerated, or ex-incarcerated, Kenku Rogue.
Indeed. When we last left our players, a lot of crazy things had happened. Now, Distant Bells is the newest member of the Chafing Armor group. He came to them from Zental Keep that had been destroyed recently by foul magic, utterly obliterated from the surface of the material plane. And one of the few survivors of that destruction was Distant Bells. You made your way back to the party. They journeyed into a magically augmented necropolis below Kalimvor. There, the magic was mostly dispelled, but it led to a battle where you had to fight a strange death knight calling himself first Twice Dead Pete before assuming his true form. You defeated him, but then the sand swallow sea, began to crack and split and come in from the roof, and you were all going to die. Now, several of them were able to escape by using a cloak that allowed you to assume the form of the undead. And Penton escaped in a very ingenious use of his dimension door. But that left one player who recently had acquired a certain cloak. Lee, could you tell us what cloak was Distant Bells wearing?
Distant Bells, through... he wants to believe cunning trickery, but mostly no one else would take it, is currently in possession of a robe of stars.
Robe of Stars. Now, Robe of Stars does allow the player to pull off sort of shuriken and throw them, and they are wonderful magical items. It is a magical cloak, but the reason the Cloak of Stars is so unique is it can transport the user to the astral plane. And that is exactly what happened. Poof! You disappeared from the material plane. And you find yourself hurtling through the nothingness between the planes. Strange shapes and forms rise and fall. You almost hear the voice of Cenarial calling out to you and saying, be free, my distant bells. And that is when a terrible pain lurches on your foot. There is a shackle on your foot. Or I should say ankle. Which ankle is that shackle on?
It is on, or in, Distant Bells' left ankle.
And to clarify for the listeners, when you say in, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well, it was put on his ankle way back when he was still a fledgling, which means that over time, as his body has grown, it's kind of grown around the shackle. So it's a part of him now in every way. Part of his family, in fact. Something he didn't really kind of check on when it came to his sister Hummingbird Wing Beats, but yeah, it didn't really occur to him because he's never really thought about it since then, so
Well, again, it's just become part of you and part of your family, and you feel a wrenching pain as gravity asserts itself, and you are yoinked downwards. You are falling downwards, and then a sudden stop as the anklet catches on some type of object, and you feel tremendous pain as you slam downwards. So imagine you're literally just falling from space, and suddenly your left ankle is just wrenched. And I would like you, I know you're terrible at this, to make a reflex saving throw.
Oh boy, I forgot we were playing.
Yeah, you're really terrible at this. Okay.
Alright. So turn the light on because it got suddenly dark here. Reflex, you say? Oh no, my worst. My worst. Alright. I really wanted to see Tix do more of these. Okay. So that is... Yeah. 28.
28. Now that is very fortunate. Wow, did your Dungeon Master ever roll low? So you took a total of 2 points of damage. That could have been a lot more, and it was also halved because of your saving throw. But nevertheless, you do take 2 points of damage as you slam downwards. You find yourself hanging precariously. From what you can see, immediately there are flagstones down below. So it's kind of good that you didn't hit them because you were falling very fast. Your immediate vision, I would like you to give me a quick spot check just to kind of see what you see at the moment.
Okie dokie. I mean, if he'd hit the ground, he hopefully would have had a bit of a tumble, but this is still probably the better option, to be brutally honest. Because tumble doesn't really save you from terminal velocity. Spot check. 21.
21. So with the 21, there is something very familiar about this place. You have been here before. However, you are upside down and dangling and in pain, and you can't quite identify it, but you are 100%. You have been here before. You recognize this place, but you just can't place it quite at the moment. You need to look a little bit higher. But you do see a couple of other things. There is a crumpled form of a young, older boy or a young man. You're not quite sure what. He's crumpled down. He's cradling something in his arms. It vaguely looks like a helmet, like something a knight might wear. And something is approaching him. But as you landed and made noise, let's say a few of your coins just bing, 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 fall and hit the ground. No,
come back, mine.
Yes, exactly. You're reaching out for them as they bing, 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 bing. There's one is a copper and one is a platinum piece.
Oh, that platinum hurts. No.
Yes. And as they hit the ground, there is something walking on 2 legs, but it looks wrong. So imagine a giant cockroach that was standing on 2 legs. It has plated armor on its back. It has a slashing, wild, whipping tail, and its head, while insectoid, is vaguely humanoid, and two just scintillating antenna look down at that, and I would like you to give me a high or a low. Say high or low.
Low.
Low. You are very lucky. This thing focuses in. It was coming towards the young man, but it focuses in on the copper coin and leans over. And have you seen the Jeff Goldblum version of The Fly?
No, it's on my list though, because it's yeah.
It holds up. Great body horror. So it scoops down with its it scoops down with its human-like hand. It's like it's got claws, but it's human-like, and it pulls the copper up to its mouth and goes, and instantly you see the copper coin just disintegrate, and it eats it up, and then it looks up at you and hisses. And I need you to roll for initiative.
Well, I'm glad he didn't take the platinum piece and do that.
That was the luck of the roll. I rolled a 6, so I got high.
I can forgive a copper piece. I mean, that's what a loaf of bread. Well, a bun, really, for some.
It's not even. Yeah, a copper is almost worthless. Not really, of course, in a very poor community, but in most cities, it's worth almost nothing.
Man, investing in Dex is just broken. Okay.
I don't know. You might be surprised.
25 for initiative. I've got a plus 9 to my initiative, so.
So, yeah, you do go first. He rolled really well. I will tell you. But you go first. Now, again, you were there. You're sort of in a courtyard as your brain is taking in these surroundings as you're dangling from this anklet shackle. You realize you're actually hanging from a gallows, and your foot has caught not in like literally the rope, but just some of the, for lack of a better term, the machinery at the top. It is caught in some of that rigging and little strips of metal, and it's pinned in between them. So if you want to act, you certainly can, upside down, or you do need to take your action to free yourself because you are hanging upside down.
Can I use escape artist to get out of this? Or?
This is exactly what escape artist is meant for. You are trapped and you are trying to escape. So yes, literally think about Houdini, like suspended upside down. That's what you are right now.
Yeah, these lessons that I took when I was young with scenario have come in handy many times. The escape bonds from the rope, just escape in general. She taught him so much, and this is all where it comes down to. He's put a lot into escape artist, because being a Kenku in Zental Keep for a start, and just in general throughout life, you get yourself into some binds. So learning how to escape them is a really good skill to have, which is why he has 13 points into escape artist. And since I just rolled a 19, that's 32, if my math is correct.
So I want you to tell me how you escape from this thing. You are about 10 feet off the ground. Probably a little bit more than that, because it's depending on where your head you're talking about, because literally you are hanging from the top of the scaffolding. So describe to me how you escape from this thing. Because you rolled so well, I will allow you to take one attack, but only one this round.
Well, first thing he would probably do would be kind of focus and look at what how the shackle is placed in the machinery, and knowing how it works. Just kind of he'd do the whole Sherlock thing, the time kind of pauses and all of the information filters through his brain. He's just doing that whole, move, twist to the left, pull out, ease to the right, that kind of thing. And then, in a space of half a second, just kind of shifts his body weight, moves his leg and pops it out. And as he falls, he rotates. And while he's twisting through the air, ready to land on his feet, he throws one of his daggers.
Okay. And are these your special daggers, or are these your magically returning daggers?
These are the magically returning ones, which are my special daggers.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I forgot that those were one and the same, that they had been enchanted. Yeah. Yes. You're good.
The gifts from Scenario. Just kind of, yeah. So, roll to attack with my dex. Thank you, Finesse. That is... first attack plus 11, so 18, 29.
29? I think a 29 will hit as you fling out this dagger. Tell the listener what the dagger looks like.
So these were given to him by his first and only love, a half-elf girl by the name of Scenario, who he met when he was growing up and robbed her of her underwear. They had a tumultuous... Well, not tumultuous. They had a tender love for each other until she died from basically racism. But they are just like a dagger, but they are customized. The blades have been fashioned into what look like feathers, classical feathers. So kind of thick at the base, thin at the top, like a dagger, but formed in the shape of a feather with a slight curve to the tip. The pommels look like raven heads, and the handles themselves are wrapped in this darkened leather with these little semicircular cuts in the leather to kind of make the whole handle look like it's feathers. And the cross guards the whole thing is very polished. It's they're very one-of-a-kind items. And the cross guards have Scenario plus bells engraved into each of the cross guards. They are very, very special to him, and as a result, when he had them enhanced by I forget his name, the
artificer, the Prognati.
That's him. When he had them modified and enhanced by Prognati, he was very, very antsy about how they would work, but thankfully Prognati was very good at what he did. So he now hopefully will never lose them, because even if he throws them at enemies, they will come back, which is exactly what he's doing now. And yeah, so they fly out straight and true. And even though they are wonderful daggers, they still only do a D4 damage. That said, I rolled an 18, and with my enhanced critical or improved critical, that puts it into a critical threat range. So this is a critical.
Okay, well then you double everything.
So that's a 6 plus, so 17 damage.
17 damage. Oh wow, that is really impressive for a dagger throw. You hit it squarely in its chest, and there is a chitinous nature to this creature, and your expert throw just goes right through the where the two plates link up and just hits right into, and you just hear this from this thing.
And as Bells kind of drops down in classic superhero pose onto the deck of the gallows, he gives a quick kind of little flick with his talons to summon the dagger back.
Okay. So this is very important. Summoning the daggers back is an automatic action. However, when that happens is going to be very important in just a moment. So, I would like you to make a roll for me.
Okay.
This would not be reflex. This would be willpower.
Oh, I hate you. Okay.
Everybody has to have their weakness.
Oh, yeah. He's not terrible, but he's not amazing. So you want a will save.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's a flat 20.
Flat 20. So that's very fortunate.
Plus
so you
5, so yeah.
Obviously, like in combat, it's not this creature's turn. It actually is its turn next. But obviously, like you do your return as a bonus, as a free action. What happens is you do that. As you do that, you see the creature look down at the dagger, and you would imagine it look down like, "Ow, that hurts," but it looks down and its eyes just lock on that dagger, and it does that again. And this viscous brown fluid begins to flow out of its mouth and pour towards your dagger. And just as it's about to hit it, it disappears. And it reappears in your hand. And you realize how close that was. Now, your daggers are magical, but you do not know what would have happened if that corrosive whatever had hit it. And it looks up at you now, and it begins, it does like this, like side to side motion, almost like it doesn't quite know how to walk. And it is coming towards you, and it is reaching out to you with its antenna, and the antenna are beginning to vaguely glow like a sickly brown. And they are coming towards you. And just in general, what would be some of the other metallic objects on your body?
Well, aside from his weapons, not much. The sickle and the daggers are about it. As for equipment, he has a flint and steel and a grappling hook, but all that stuff is kind of in the backpack, which has no metal parts on it that I know of, being, a mimic. So, I don't know the specifics, but I'm fairly sure, mimics don't tend to have, like, they can mimic metal, but the parts on them aren't metal. They just look it. So that shouldn't be too big a deal.
Okay, well...
the only other thing would be the amulet he's always wearing, and that's a problem. So yeah, he seeing that, he's kind of going to... he's going to sheath the daggers, because those aren't happening. He's going to be all sickle from now on, because those are relatively cheap to get back. Now,
I believe you do have one magical sickle, do you not?
No.
Or
neither. No,
okay.
I only have one sickle. My daggers are magical. They are +1 and magical because they return.
No, it is. So it's a regular sickle. Okay.
Sickle is just
want
a
to double
sickle.
check.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. He hasn't had the money or the option to enhance it yet, although it has been on his mind. But that is probably going to be where it comes from now on. But just as an aside too, just so to make sure that we have everything in line, this episode is going out after the April Fool's episode?
Yes.
Okay, because I just wanted to know whether or not the boom jelly eggs are still in his pack.
They absolutely are. They are just sitting there.
Yeah.
The backpack has not eaten them.
I worried about that.
Afraid of them.
Might be both. But I just wanted to make sure that was all right. Those aren't fine. He still has the wooden vampire teeth for
He
reasons.
definitely has those because that was just recently. Yeah.
Yep, and that was fun too. That's pretty much it. But he's definitely going to try and tuck away as much of his metallic stuff into protection. Like the daggers go back in the holsters or the scabbards, and he kind of pushes them back a little bit away from his front. He tucks the amulet into his tunic, so it's between his body and his tunic, and then his armor on top of that.
So one point of clarification: you said that you landed on the deck of the
gallows,
where the gallows. So
yeah, I wasn't sure if there was like it was
there is
off the ground.
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah.
So I just want you to make a quick roll and let me know if you get a 1 or a 2, and if so, which one.
Okay. Just a flat D20. Nope.
Okay. So when you pulled out your sickle, that was like a homing beacon for this thing. It just like homes in on that sickle. So there was almost no chance it was going to go for anything else. But I just wanted to have a slight chance that might happen, because that's how D&D works.
Okay.
And it comes chittering towards you. But also, what languages do you speak?
Any, but it's whether or not he can understand them is a different matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, he can understand Common, Auran, Elven, Undercommon, Dwarven, and Draconic. He just recently learned how to understand Draconic.
Yeah, that's right. So this is a weird version of Elvish. This thing is in broken Elvis. It's in
okay, now he's just. I've just got this image of this thing, like you've seen Men in Black, the first one. I've just got this idea of him looking like Edgar, kind of.
Yeah. That's right.
Sugar water.
Yeah. So we're gonna pretend that it has a vague Elvish sound, and it is coming towards you, and you just hear it saying, metal, 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 metal. Love me tender, love me true, give me that metal. And it rolls.
Elvis was all about rock, not metal.
It rolls a 21. Does that hit your armor? It rolled really high.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do the second roll. It rolls an 8, so even with this bonus, it doesn't hit. So, you said that your sickle is not magical, correct?
No, it is just a flat sickle.
Okay. So, what happens is it comes up and those antennas touch the sickle, and immediately your sickle begins disintegrating into rust and dust. And as it does, it reaches forward and is just scooping it up into its mouth. It literally is like, taking the thing that should be hurting it and just scooping it up into its mouth. And and you hear just, good. And it does various other Elvis noises.
Thank you very much.
But it's both, that was
sickle. Great. Okay.
Yep, it is gone. In the distance, you hear a high cry, like something cries out in the distance, but you have no idea what it was. You're in the middle of combat. There is a sound, but you're not really sure what this sound is because it's coming from inside your head. And it is a psychic sound. And it says, "No!" And suddenly, just a boom, like a deep pressure blasts past you, and for a moment you think you've been hit. You think you've been like as if a slingshot hit you in the side of the head, but you realize it wasn't even aimed at you. Like, this is literally just the backlash from this attack. I'm gonna make a little roll here. Ooh, rolled very, very well. That is the wrong dice. Get the right dice. Go ahead.
Just for the listener as well. Bells immediately drops the handle of what's left of his sickle and just kind of backs away as much as he can away from this thing because it eats metal. We're just gonna try and not get anything else eaten, please? Thank you.
So it is like a cannonball hit it from the side. And you don't see anything. There's no light. There's no, energy blast. Like you've been hanging around Penton. You know what a magic blast looks like. And
he's very flashy about what he does.
Penton is very flashy, but there is no flash. There is just suddenly this creature is reaching out to you to go for your amulet, and then suddenly the creature is not there. It is blasted 30 feet to the side and lands just crunch to the ground. What you would suspect would be, I don't know, maybe like 24 points of damage. And takes an additional 6 points of damage from slamming into the ground. And you glance to the side, and you can see that young lad. He has dark, kind of shaggy black hair, and he's just holding up his hand. And the creature has slammed down on the ground 30 feet away from you. And the young boy kind of like collapses back down, like exhausted. And that brings it back to your turn. This thing is very definitely damaged and really hurt, but he is not still moving, and he is getting back up.
So it is down?
And it is down, but it is not out. So he is down on the ground. He was knocked, literally just blasted 30 feet to your right, and landing on the cobblestones. Something happens when he hits the cobblestones that you notice, because... you know what it looks like when something hits the cobblestones. It's very, it hurts. And there's almost like a boom, boom, like a, as if like the cobblestones were made of rubber, but they're not. They're definitely cobblestones. But something about the ground is wrong. And even some of the cobblestones kind of break away, and you see like a dark something is underneath that is not dirt. Something is very wrong here. And now it is your turn.
All right. Would you say this thing has been denied its dex?
What do you mean?
As in, for its armor class? Would it be considered flat-footed?
Yes, he is prone, and so is technically flat-footed. Yes, he cannot dodge or anything.
On a technicality, this is all up to you, of course, and you can cut this out. On a technicality, sneak attack would work, correct?
Sneak attack would work. I would need you to successfully sneak up to him, because it's the middle of combat, and he is expecting you. But at the same time, he also was not expecting to get thrown 30 feet onto the cobblestones. So it is within the realm of possibility to do a sneak attack on him.
We'll give it a shot.
All right. You can. How far is your movement?
It is 30 feet.
There you go. So you can run up there. I do need you to give me that stealth roll. That moves silently.
Oh no! How terrible!
It's your worst. It's your worst. But you do need to roll well, because you are running up behind him in the middle of combat.
Yes. Let's see. I have a 15 to move silently, and a 15 to hide, and a 15 to open lock. That's fun. So let's see what we've got. All I have to do is roll a 15 or better, and I just rolled a 17. So
17. Okay.
That's 37.
37.
Wait, no.
All right.
32. What? 15 plus 15 plus 2 is 32. Never mind. I can math.
Well, I was going to let you attack regardless, but you needed to get at least a 25 on that roll in order to do so, and you succeeded. So I would like you to make your attack for your sneak attack.
All right. So that means I can add plus 5 d6 to my attack. So that's fun. Where did I put that? There we go. Sorry, I'm There he is. Plus 5d6 to my standard attack, which is going to be... It's unfortunately going to have to be with my daggers, but I'm not letting go of them, so that's... They're going to have to... Yeah, alright, anyway. Attack roll. First attack, because I have 2. First attack is an 18, so that's already a critical. Because of the daggers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sorry. Taking improved critical on a 19 to 20 is doubles the threat range, so that's a 17 to 20. My bad. Yeah, so that's a critical D4. So, okay, that's 4 damage from the D4 plus 5d6. I'm just going to roll the c6 once and multiply it 5 times. So that's 24 damage.
Ow.
24 damage. Okay. Describe to me how you finish this strange creature with your sneak attack.
He's not going to do anything fancy. He's just going to, creep up in a kind of a half stance as quickly as possible. Hoping it doesn't see him. It's a bit winded and staggered from this force blow. Just kind of quickly look for a chink in the external plating, find one, and just with practiced ability, slam the blade in and give it a quick twist to really do some damage. And while it's twisted, pull it out. So, it really hurts.
Okay. And you drive it in, and there is just this shriek. Like it hurts your ears as you drive it home, but you do not quail for even in that sound as you drive it in and twist, and there's a crack sound as whatever it does seem to have some kind of internal skeleton despite having this chitin, and you crack through the spine, and then it shudders and is still. And
I will take a 5 to 10 feet step back, or steps back, because this thing vomits and stuff that dissolves metal, and who knows what can happen. Bells have seen bodies of creatures explode before, so let's just move back as quickly as possible, as far as possible, just in case this thing turns into a cloud of acid rust-eating thing. Yeah.
Completely understandable, and wise, very wise, given what what can happen. But nothing like that does happen. You step back and you ready yourself for anything that could, especially you're thinking about your daggers, like perhaps one hand instinctively goes over to protect them. Mm-hmm. And you look up and you realize why this place looks familiar. It's all distorted and cracked and broken. But as you look up, you are staring at a sign. And the sign says, "Ye Chicken." You are somehow at Zental Keep. But there's more than that. You look up, and the sky is nonsense. The sky is an endless sea of weird constellations and moving pieces of rock floating, and this is not your plane of existence. You are not in Kansas, as it were, and yet you are on Zental Keep, and it doesn't make any sense.
Honestly, Bells will just go. He's walked through a portal to a completely different place. He's had no idea where it was. The others seemed to know what it was. It was a place full of weird scales, and apparently we fought a undead monk on it, and weird shit's happened. So he's just going to kind of shake his head, maybe a little face palm, just kind of hold his temple as he's getting a headache. And then it'll come back to him that there's somebody who's hurt, and he'll turn and run back to, or lightly jog back to the young man holding the helmet. Why he's holding the helmet and not wearing it, I don't know, but, just going to run back and find out if he's okay. Especially since he saved my life, I'm assuming, with that force blow or magic or whatever he did, I at least want to thank him for, making sure that I don't lose anything else of metal on my person.
So you see him, he's wearing kind of these interesting, like kind of reddish clothing, perhaps leather armor, you're not even really sure. And he tries to stand to like almost greet you. He's still got that kind of helmet thing cradled in his arm. And as he stands, he just falls, like just collapses back down.
Can I reflex to catch?
Okay. I won't even make you reflex. You can just catch him.
But
I'll
catch him because, yeah.
You can't see anything like specifically. Like he does appear to be mildly injured. Like he's got scrapes and bruises on him. Like nothing seems to be broken, but that doesn't seem to be what's wrong with him. Like it's literally like, you didn't spend that much time. You've never actually been to the sea, but you perhaps heard about when people first get on land that they're kind of like unsteady. That's what he seems like. Like he's having trouble standing up. And you
Bells will kind of sort of look around for like a stump or a bench or anything around, and just kind of so he can sit rather than collapse in a heap on the floor. If there's anything around, like
yes.
that.
There absolutely is a overturned cart, and part of the cart has smashed, and it makes sort of a makeshift bench that you can sit him on.
We'll lead him over there, and just kind of while we're walking, just kind of have a quick examine of what exactly it is that he's holding, because it doesn't make sense he'd be holding a helmet and cradling it if he could wear it, unless there's something else going on. But yeah, just try and take in this full guy's form and understand, so that I don't have to ask that many questions.
Okay. The first thing you see is that the helm is not a combative helm. Like you know what those look like, the various shapes and protection and everything. This is not designed for protecting your head. There is definitely, like, you feel like you might see this at Prognati's shop. Like, it has a artificer feel to it, or a gnomish design to it, kind of thing. For the listener and for you, it would remind you of Cerebro's helmet from the X-Men. Yeah, ooh, so it has this like sculpted look to it. But it doesn't. It technically would protect you, but it doesn't seem to serve that purpose. And he thanks you. He's got a very soft voice. He's very soft spoken, and he says, "I thank you for your help. That creature was coming for my helmet, and I have to protect it. It's the only thing that I have left."
Bells will kind of incline his head, and sort of offer his own thank you in his own unique way, for, and kind of ask, do you know what that was?
It was, I believe that it was a rust monster, but not normal. Rust monsters are bipedal. And he has a way, it's very soft, but it's very precise, the way he speaks. Bipedal in nature, and less intelligent than this creature. Certainly its speaking Elven was highly unusual for a rust monster, and also walking as a man does is highly unusual. So, some ways it has been altered or mutated in a fashion that I do not fully understand, but it was coming for my helmet, and so I am extremely grateful to you for helping me.
Bells kind of, again, almost on instinct, kind of reflexively protects his, or gently caresses his daggers in a protective way. No, listener, he's not that kind of caressing, relax. It's just, the worry in the back of his mind. It's not fully gone away. He kind of wonders if he should, wash the daggers now. Kind of really get all, when you stab someone, you clean the gunk off. He's the usual routine is he kind of, wipes the blade on the leather baffles on his waist belt, which has the leather kind of flaps coming down the side to protect his upper thighs, but also as a kind of a place where he can wipe gore and various viscera off his weapons. And then, he cleans those every so often when he remembers to. But in this case, it's probably not enough. He's feeling like maybe he should, have them properly cleaned and give them a good polish, some oils and stuff. But,
sure.
Yeah, that's kind of what's going through his head at the moment. He's just like, I guess I can forgive the copper piece and a sickle is relatively cheap, so I as long as everybody is okay, that's fine. And thank you for...
The platinum piece is still there, by the way.
No, it's not. He picked it up.
Oh, yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah, he, on his way towards the man, he would have kind of scooped up the platinum piece and secreted it back in the pocket it came from, because there's no way he's leaving that there.
No, that is not going to happen. And at that moment, you hear footsteps, and this footsteps, this is the footsteps of soldiers coming towards y'all. And he looks up very alarmed, and he says, "We need to hide. I normally I could hide us, but I there's something happening to me, and my powers are diminished. Can you help me hide?"
Bells will quickly look around for something that he could blend using his cloak, sort of like a shadowy area. Basically he would stand in front and kind of huddle over, pull his cloak over, and it kind of blends into the surrounding background. It would take someone actually physically investigating the area to realize something was wrong, because his cloak is well designed for this particular idea.
Yep, it sure is.
But he'll be looking for that kind of, if there's anything around there that he could potentially do that.
Okay. So there are plenty. The even though this is the courtyard, which you would imagine one of the big courtyards is where they do the executions, because they were very popular. Mm-hmm. But it is broken and smashed, and there are heavy shadows, and there are plenty of places to hide. You could even try to go inside one of the buildings if you want to, but you don't know what you would find in there. There's also that.
Yeah, it also, Bells wouldn't, knowing how weird this kind of location is, and also most buildings don't really have that, or at least from the looks of it, don't really have that many other exits. There's really only one. You wouldn't want to get cornered, so this is probably the better option.
Okay.
In terms of just kind of hoping they pass by.
Do need you to give me just a straight hide roll.
Perfect.
I know you're terrible at that.
Yep. That's a 31. I rolled a 16.
16. So the 31, did you say?
Yes, I have a high of 15.
So you find that crevice corner, and part of Yi Check-in had partially collapsed, and you kind of move him into the crevice, and then as they approach, the of your cloak comes up. Your dark eyes just barely peering out of the edge, not even reflecting, because you've angled it just perfectly. And as you worked him in, you again saw he is just really struggling to stand. Like, if it was someone else, you'd think they were drunk, but he's clearly not drunk. Just so unsteady on his feet. And these soldiers are walking. They seem a little off too, but not nearly as much as him. So you have never seen these creatures before. So I would like you to try to make a just straight knowledge roll. You can certainly add if you have any intelligence modifier. Otherwise, it's just a straight roll.
So local wouldn't work because he has knowledge local. But
yes, you are technically in Zental Keep, but these guys are not local.
Yes. All right. So a straight. Thanks, die. That's a 10.
10. Okay. So you have no idea what they are. The first thing in your mind that you think is orc, but they are much more slender than an orc. So then the second thing you think is half orc. They have very long elven ears. They have greenish skin. They have kind of like slightly mottled spots on their face. So they're sort of half orc adjacent, but very tall, very thin, and each one of them is walking. They have silver armor that is very intricate, and each one of them carries a silver sword that they hold prominently in their scabbards, like ready for action. As they come by, and they're looking left and right, and as they come up to the area, one of them calls out in a language you do not understand, but it's very clear. He's calling to the halt. He's pointing to the rust monster, and one of the lieutenants is going to check it out. And they're looking around, but they do not see you. There is one thing you cannot help but notice, and that is that they have baleful blue eyes that are softly glowing.
As a player, that means a lot, but
not
Bells
as much
has no clue.
Bells.
Bells doesn't have much. Bells wasn't there, so that doesn't mean much to Bells. But as a player, I'm just, oh my god, why?
And certainly the player has never seen this many before. There's about 24 of them. But after they inspect and kind of look around for a little bit, the leader calls out again in a language you don't understand, and they keep marching. They keep marching in the opposite direction of they came. And after a few minutes, you think that it's safe to, move. Yeah.
We'll give it a couple moments more, and then move opposite the way they went, kind of into. Well, try and put as much stuff between us and where they went, just in case they come back, but while still maintaining, some kind of potential for sight or being able to hear when they come back.
Okay.
And then kind of turn to him and go, that was a lot of silver.
Yes, the Githyanki are very fond of their silver swords. You want to be careful with them. They are potentially quite dangerous. They do not simply cut flesh. They can, in extreme cases, actually cut through the very soul. So you do want to be careful when engaging in combat with the Githyanki. Unfortunately, they are very hostile at the moment. I do not know why. Myself and my companion, we have had a, if not friendly, then a accord with them, a non-combatant accord with them. But unfortunately, they have recently become strange. And when we were flying close to their new settlement, things went very badly, and we were attacked. And our ship crashed, and I was left here, and my companion has been taken, and I don't know what to do, and I don't know what's going on, and I don't understand everything, but I must ask you, I need your help. I need your help to save my friend.
Bells will kind of look. He kind of looks back to where the Githyanki went, and anyone who knows him will know he's doing sums in his head of just how much all that silver is worth.
It is silver. It is silver.
Yeah. Oh, he knows. He knows silver when he sees it, and like kind of tossing over in his head. Should I follow and see if they put the silver down somewhere and I can take some of it? And he's still a thief. Like at heart, he's still a thief. He still wants the money. He still wants the bag, but he kind of shakes his head and is just like, no. Just, one, it's too risky. Two, now really? Come on, think about it, dude. And he'll just kind of look back and go, as long as I'm here, I will do my best. I don't know why I'm here. Last I remember, I was in a hallway, I think. But I'm here now, and fuck it. Basically, he just kind of throws up his hands and goes, sure. You saved my life. I kind of owe a debt anyway, so I shall help.
And he says, thank you so much. I need your help to save my friend. Her name is Bubbles. I am Rainbow Boy. And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor, episode 144. Thank you for playing, Lee.
Thank you very much.
This will be very, very interesting where things are going to go next. If someone would like to check out Chafing Armor, what would be one good place for them to do that?
A fantastic place would be to go to iTunes.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the highest downloads that we have is on iTunes. But there are many podcasts on iTunes. I heard that there was one called Peeves and Q's. Have you heard about it?
No. Could you tell me about it?
It's a wonderful show where my friend Lee and his compatriot, is it Anne or Anna? Anna, discuss topics of the day. There's everything. Y'all go through, run through a couple of the topics that y'all do. I love how wildly your topics vary.
So yes, myself and my co-host Anna, we go through, we put up a poll every 2 weeks, discussing a topic. Topics range from silly things such as, does pineapple belong on pizza, to, very, very deep topics, with some really interesting and kind of upsetting history, such as, does the West have a problem with fetishization of Asian people and culture? And we get guests on to talk about these topics, and really kind of the aim is to help understand these topics from different points of view and offer viewpoints that the vast majority of the audience either doesn't or may not get the opportunity to come into contact with all that often, if at all.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. And the link to that show will be in the show notes today. But once again, tell them the name of your podcast.
That is Peeves and Q's. You can find us on Twitter at PeevesQsPod. And check us out. Really appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun, and
I have been enjoying it, and I know my listeners, our listeners, will too. But until next time, thank you for playing, Lee.
Thank you very much. This is going to be interesting.
And y'all take care, and we will roll with you soon.